Hello everyone and welcome back to your English channel, Phoenix English. This video is like a competition. 3 teachers, including me, are going to teach superlative and comparative adjectives, and then you are going to decide who the best teacher is. Do not forget to vote in the comment section, otherwise we are going to kill each other. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I'm going to teach comparative and superlative adjectives today, and I'm going to start with an example. We all know that panthers are very fast animals, right? Now let's compare a panther with an elephant. Which one do you think is faster? That's right. A panther is faster than an elephant. Faster here is a comparative adjective. We use comparative adjectives to compare 2 items, 2 places, or 2 people. Here we can divide adjectives into 2 different groups, short adjectives and long adjectives. For short adjectives such as tall, such as big, fast, we simply add er at the end of the adjective. So for example, fast changes to faster, tall changes to taller, big changes to bigger. But for long adjectives, such as beautiful or crowded, for example, we can add the adverb more directly before the adjective. So for example, I can say that Istanbul is more beautiful than Gaziantep. As you can see here, I compared 2 different cities, Istanbul and Gaziantep, and used the comparative adjective more beautiful. Now let's move on to superlative adjectives. Do you know the fastest animal in the world? I'm sure you do. Cheetah is the fastest animal in the world. What about the biggest country in the world? That's right. Russia is the biggest country in the world. Here, the adjectives fastest and biggest are called superlative adjectives. We use them when we want to compare more than 2 items, more than 2 cities, more than 2 people. So for example, I'm going to ask you a question. Which city do you think is the most crowded city in Turkey? As you can see, again here we can divide adjectives into different groups. Long adjectives and short adjectives. For most short adjectives, such as fast, tall, small, big, short, we can simply add the suffix est, est at the end of the adjective. So fast changes to fastest, or tall changes to the tallest. But for long adjectives, we need to add the adverb the most before the adjective. So for example, crowded changes to the most crowded, or beautiful changes to the most beautiful. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Thank you.
Okay, now it's my turn. The best teacher in the world. That was superlative adjective. Okay, I start with comparative adjectives. We use comparative adjectives to compare the differences between 2 things or 2 people. Okay, when it comes to comparative, we are talking about 2. Now, here is a formula. Noun, which is a subject, plus verb, plus comparative adjective, plus then, and then the second noun, which is an object. For example, my house is larger than hers. Okay? And here is a situation. If the second noun or the object can be understood by the help of the context, we can omit it. For example, Jack and Jim are both my friends, but I like Jack better. Here I didn't say than Jim, because than Jim can be understood, by the person in front of me. They can easily understand that I'm comparing Jack and Jim together, because in the first sentence I mentioned both names. Now, I want to talk about superlative adjectives. We use superlative adjectives when we want to compare one thing or one person to several others. Here it is more than two, several others, okay? For example, Paris is the most beautiful city I have ever seen. Here I'm saying that, for example, I've been to several different cities and I consider Paris as the number one in terms of being beautiful, okay? I'm comparing more than two cities together. Maybe I've been to, for example, 5 different cities, or I don't know, 10 different cities. Whatever it is more than two. Here is a formula of superlative adjective. Again, noun subject plus verb plus the, and then superlative adjective. For superlative adjective, we have to use the before that. And after that, it's the second noun, which is an object. Okay, it's, what do we say? It's the time for my students to go out of the class. This noise that you can hear is the bell. By the way, okay, I talked about the formula. For example, I can say that my house is the largest one in the neighborhood, okay? Largest one is the largest one. I think you have understood the concept, the differences between comparative and superlative. Here is a time to talk about the regular adjectives. Can you tell me about the time, please? Because I don't want to go over 3 minutes. Okay, come on. 2:28. 2:28? Okay, okay, if I want to talk about the formula, it's really easy. If you have one syllable adjective, you have to add ER for comparative adjectives and EST for superlative adjectives, like big, bigger, the biggest, or tall, taller, tallest. If you have paid attention for big, I've doubled the consonant. Here is the rule. If you have one vowel sound, one single vowel, and after that, one single consonant, we double the consonant when we want to add ER or when we want to add EST. For more than one syllable adjectives, like 2 syllables or more, we use more before comparative adjectives and the most before superlative adjectives. I think I'm just going over 3 minutes, but no problem. So, for example, handsome, more handsome, the most handsome. If you have doubt about the number of the syllables, you can check your dictionary. Never guess about it because it's a little different from your native language. And sometimes my adjective is irregular. For irregular adjectives, you have to learn them by heart. You have to memorize them. For example, good, better, best, bad, worse, worst. Okay, if one adjective is irregular in comparative form, it is also irregular in superlative form. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you will vote for me. See you.
Hello guys, today I'm going to teach you comparatives and superlatives. We're going to start with the first topic, comparatives. We use comparatives when we want to say, we want to compare two things. For example, here I have 2 chairs and I'm going to compare them. This one here is bigger than this one. This one is also at the same time wider than this one. As you can hear, I'm using ER and than. These are things super important for you when you're using the comparatives. You should always include them, unless you're using long adjectives. For example, this one is more colorful than this one. In this case, I didn't use ER. I used more, the adjective, and then than. I'm going to say it again. This chair is more colorful than this one. This one, I think, is more expensive than this one here. And now we're going to continue to superlatives. When we want to compare more than one thing, now we have 3 things here, we have to use a different structure. So we're not going to use ER and then, we're going to use something else. Just hear me out. So I'm going to start saying that this chair is the most expensive one here. And at the same time, I'm going to say that these 2, what am I going to say?
2,000 years later.
These 2 are the best ones here. And one last thing I can say is that this chair is probably the biggest one between these 2. So there are 2 things you have to remember when you're using the superlative. One is EST, like I said in the second example, this chair is the biggest one. And if you're using a long adjective like colorful or expensive, you have to say this is the most expensive one between all these chairs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.